Hello, good morning. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm just going to check that I'm live in the right place. Because, as you know, it's always a good way to start a live. So let's just wait for that to refresh. Alfie is seeking attention. Okay, I think we're live in the right place. Go and lie on your bed, you. Good boy. Okay, yes, Happy New Year. I am a little later than usual today. I'm still wondering about what is the best time to do this live. Trying to rejuggle things maybe for the new year, for a new start. I kind of quite like doing a Tuesday morning. I know it suits some of you, it's not going to suit everybody. And the good thing is that because I upload to YouTube, that you can always catch up with the live over there. So yeah, New Year, bit of new weather today. Yesterday it was really chilly here. Went down to it was almost freezing last night. There was a bit of frost around as well. And today the temperature's just risen, but it's just so damp and miserable and grey. It's not pleasant out there at all. So yeah, not the best start, but there we go. Okay, so if you are joining, please do say hello. I'm just looking, things look a bit different on my phone. Whether that's just things that I've not noticed before. So yeah, if you're joining, say hello. Today I'm using some new products. So I've been designing using the Dainty Delight bundle, but today I'm going to be using the Petal Park. So you won't have seen this in any publication because it's coming in the new January to April mini, which will be launched on the 5th, which is, if I believe right, it's that Friday. Good morning, Joe. Happy New Year to you as well. How are you? Okay, so shall we get you down to the desk? So yeah, I'm using Petal Park. I'm also using the Something Fancy bundle, which you have seen me use before. So I'm loving the dies that coordinate with that. It's generally a sentiment, a greeting stamp set, but the dies you've seen me use a lot. It's got those lovely labels and the frames that kind of layer inside each other. So just seeing. You're good, Joe. Just trying to read from this distance with my glasses on. I'm desperate to get that. I really need to. I've made my doctor's appointments this morning, so one tick off the list. I need to get that eye appointment organised because it's getting bad. It's getting a struggle. Jason and I were having this debate a couple of days ago about just how bad our eyes are getting. He doesn't have glasses, but I think he needs them. He quite often borrows mine if we're somewhere and he can't read something, he has to borrow mine. So he's kind of in denial that he needs them, but he definitely does. So let's get you down on my desk and then we can have a little bit of a chit chat as we go along. Make a bit of room. I seem to be working in a mess lately. I don't know what's up with me. Excuse the palm of the hand. Let's turn everything around. Move everything to one side. Let's get this phone straight today. Have a little zoom. That was a big zoom. And get some light on. I have got a definite frog in the throat. I've got some little lurgy that is lingering in the background. I don't feel unwell, but I definitely have this frog, which is annoying me. Little bit of a tickly cough, but I feel fine apart from that. Let's get this grid paper tape down. And then I can make a start because I've got to head out after this. Popping over to see some grandchildren. And then I've got more work to do. I'm hoping to do another live later in my team. And I haven't even told them yet. That's how my morning has gone. I've got this list of things that I need to do. and I haven't got to half of it. I don't know where the morning's gone. And I was up normal time again today. Awake, in fact, I was awake half the night, but I was actually wide awake at 4:30 this morning. Good morning, my lovely Helen. How are you doing? I was just writing your name on an envelope this morning, so be expecting some happy mail soon. Although with the way things are with Royal Mail, it could be later rather than sooner. So yes, I'm using Petal Park. I may have flashed this at you, but I haven't actually stamped with this yet. But it is beautiful. I love it. You know I love flowers. You know I love foliage. It's photopolymer, and we have this lovely punch that goes with it. So it's called Petal Park, the punch. So love that we've got names that that don't have to make us think too hard about what they are. So again, both of these are on a bundle for £36. Stamps on their own are 22. So a really incredibly priced bundle, and you are going to get a lot of use out of this. And look, we have a mini splat. You know I love a mini splat. So we're using Petal Park. I'm going to put that to one side. Pop that in my basket. Then we are going to use a couple of greetings from the Something Fancy. So a really great set that's got a good selection in there. And then we've got the Something Fancy dies that go with it. You've seen me use this a lot. Really handy die set. My throat is getting really scratchy the more that I'm talking, so may have to have a little cough in a minute. Nothing unusual there. Normally me trying to clear my throat, isn't it? Because that frog comes along. Colour combo. We've got Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, and Shaded Spruce. So that's my colour combo, and that came from, I was inspired by some papers. Yeah, Stampin', you're right there with that little splat. Stampin' Up is saying, don't use your stamping blends to create those splats. Use the stamps. Right, let's put those to one side because I think I've got everything mounted. What else is in my little basket of goodness? Another sneak peek here. We've got the cane weave embossing folder. So this is a 3D. It's really strong. You can tell by the thickness. Really good textured finish with this one. Helen, I know you're going to love this. I'm sure you've got this already. This is, what's it called? The bordered ribbon in Night of Navy. It's beautiful. There is no kind of right and wrong to it. What do we get on there? 10 yards, 9.1 meters. So that works lovely with, now what are these actually called? Regency Park. Let's get my scraps out. I think I flashed these at you last time, but they are super gorgeous. I mean, that scares me. That really does scare me, but the opposite side, the reverse, is more me. You know I'm not one for great patterns, but the colours are so inspiring. And then if I flick the other way, let's take them out of their packet. These are more me. So we've got Petal Pink, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Night of Navy, Balmy Blue. We've got, looks like Shaded Spruce. Is that where my colour has come from? Mango Melody. And I think that's it. Let's have a look. Balmy Blue, Mango Melody, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Shaded Spruce, and Sweet Sorbet. So there's a little bit of Sweet Sorbet in here, look. And like in the centres of the flowers. So a really lovely set of papers. So 6 by 6. So that's coming in the new mini. That's my little packet for the cane weave. And then we've also got these lovely adhesive backed milky dots. And these kind of go with this sweet. Let's see what the catalogue is. Sadly, I can't show you the catalogue inside just yet. I'm just flicking on. So it is called, the suite is called the Regency Park Suite. And we've got papers, we've got these embellishments, we've got the ribbon, the cane weave embossing folder is part of this as well. And there is also some textured shimmer paper, which are 12 by 12 sheets. And they come in shaded spruce, balmy blue and white. And obviously they must, I don't have them so I can't see them in person, but they must have some lovely texture to them. So that is the Regency Park Suite. So I am using quite a few bits and bobs from there. Let's put that to one side and grab some kits and get rolling, because as I said, I've got to head out to see some little people and then I'll be back, and I'm hoping to go live in my team group probably about 4 o'clock for those of you who are watching. Helen, your ribbon is arriving today. That's great news. Brilliant news. Right, I'm going to tape down this little corner because it's annoying me of my grid paper. It's flying up in the air. Right, what have we got? Not a lot. There is not a lot here, is there? So we've got a base layer of basic white, which measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and we're just going to simply score that right down the middle just to create our base card. Now, I often say this, I only ever use basic white cardstock. We do have thick white cardstock, but because I tend to add so many layers, I don't feel the need to use the thick cardstock. And if I'm not using lots of layers, I will probably double layer on the inside. So I would probably put a sheet of colour inside followed by an insert sheet just to give the card a bit of balance, because it's not so heavy. If you've got a lot of layers on the front, there is a chance, you know, it's not going to stand nicely and it's going to topple over. So sometimes I just put extra layers on the inside to kind of compensate. Right, we've got a piece of crumb cake which measures 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. And what we're going to do with that one is we're going to take our cane weave embossing folder. I'm going to line up the bottom of this with the line on, I can't see what I'm doing, on the embossing folder, because I have found with this die, it needs to be square. It's not a die, it's an embossing folder. It needs to be square in here. Otherwise it looks like your card's a bit crooked because there are lines on here. So I would be careful lining it in. Just going to run this through. So you can see just how lovely and textured this is. I mean, that does look, it looks a bit little bit crooked at the top where not quite lined up. It's not too bad though, but it's beautiful both sides. I can hear the recycling men coming down the lane. Put that to one side, and then what I'm going to do on this layer, I'm going to do this now because I want it to just set to one side and dry a little. I'm going to pull in some of the Whisper White. Yeah, that's a good idea actually, Helen. Helen's saying that you could maybe tape this into the embossing folder so it doesn't move. Just to me, can you see how it's slightly wider there and then it goes shorter, and that can just make the eye feel that everything is crooked. Well, it does mine anyway. Good morning, Lucianne. How are you doing? So I'm going to take some of the white ink refill. Just got that on my finger. And I'm going to pop some on this block. So I'm going to wipe that. No, I don't need to wipe it. I think it'll be fine. I've already got this that I've been using. I was going to wipe it off and then actually I don't think I need to. I'm going to pop a little bit on here. Don't want too much. I don't want to waste it. And this will stay tacky for quite a while. So if you're adding water to it, it's not going to dry up really quickly. Helen, another example of things Kerry notices that no one else would. I know, I'm terrible, aren't I? I just know how bad I am. So picky, so OCD, but can't be helped. It's just the way I am. Lucy-Ann, you're all good. You can't stay long as you've got work. Okay, my lovely. Well, thank you for stopping by. Come back for the replay. I'm just going to drop on a couple of drops of water out of my very old aqua painter. Look at the state of it. It's in need of a bit of love, a bit of cleaning. And then I'm just going to mix that into a watery solution. Okay, so I want it very watery. I'm going to put it just over here for a minute so it doesn't go everywhere, and grab a bit of a spare sheet of grid paper, a very used grubby piece, and I'm going to do my own splatting with this. So I'm going to take that. Can you actually see that? I'm going to load up my brush and then tap with my bone folder to create some white splats on here. Hopefully you can see. Let's fully load it up. And this will take a while to dry. I might even be tempted to go over this with my heat tool. And this is why I wanted to do this first. I'm putting plenty on because it doesn't stand out and it goes everywhere. Look, it's all on my hand, it's up my sleeve, it's on this hand. So just be wary of how far it travels when you do this, because it's a very watery solution. I'm going to pop my lid back on. Don't shout at me for this because I know it needs a good clean. I will do that later. Give it a soak. And I'm just going to take, it looks like I've been painting, take a wipe and just give myself a wash to get rid of the splattage. And then, actually it hasn't got rid of it. It wasn't a very good wash, was it? Hopefully you can see. Let's bring my light up a bit. The splattage on there. It's kind of subtle, but it's there. In person it is much, I feel covered in white snow. Let's put that to one side and let it dry. Yeah, and you could do that with obviously any of the re-inkers, but you just have to be careful. The great thing about, obviously this is like, it's a pigment ink, so it's quite gloopy, but when you're using normal ink, it will be very watery once you add water to it, and it will create quite a watermark if a lot of it goes down onto your layer. So you just have to be prepared for that. Right, first thing I'm going to stamp is a layer that's going on top of our card, and this is just basic white again, measuring 2 3/4 by 4 1/8, 2 magic numbers. So 2 3/4 is 1/3 of an A4 sheet, and 4 1/8 is 1/2 of an A4 sheet. So 2 measurements that I use quite a lot when I'm cutting with layers. And all I'm going to do on this one is pull in my foam mat, because the Petal Park is photopolymer. Joe, you started using another ink for that reason, of it going everywhere. Is that what you mean? For the splatting. Do you get less splattage everywhere on the places that you don't want it? Right, I'm going to pull in to start with this stamp. This is an E block, remind myself. Yes, this is an E block. Quite a large stamp, that one. I don't think that would fit on a D block. No, definitely not. And this is, let's just point this out, a 2-step stamp set, okay? And as you can see there, the images are shown smaller on the cover than they are in actual real life. Which way round does that go? It's back to front, that's why. You can see just how much bigger it actually is than the picture on the cover. So this is the outline. And then we have this one here, which is like the shadow. So that fills in the colour. Okay, so I love that about this stamp set, that we don't have to think too much about colouring in. So I'm just checking in the book, because some of our stamp sets coming in the mini catalogue are available in cling and photopolymer, and I don't think this one is. I'm just flicking. Petal Park. I think it's just in cling, in photopolymer. I will confirm that though. Yeah, some of our stamps, sorry, I was having a dull moment then, which happens often around here. Some of our stamps will be available in photopolymer and cling. Okay, so by that I mean some will be the red rubber, and then some will be the cling, like these, the photopolymer. I mean, gosh, I'm making a right hash of that. Let's wait till we can open the catalogue and look at it together, and then I can explain that fully. So, Lucianne, did I have a good Christmas and New Year? I did, thank you. It kind of came and went. It was pretty hectic with all of the grandchildren here, because they just love the space and they love to get all of the toys down from the playroom and fill up all the space. But it was lovely, so lovely to have them all. Had all of them over for New Year and for Christmas. They all stayed over. So yeah, we've had a few hectic days, but it's been just so nice that they've wanted to stay with us. So yeah, it's been great. I hope you've had a good time as well, because I know you said you're having your sister over, or were you going to your mum's? Was your mum cooking, but you were having your sister as well? Right, we're going to start off with the outline stamp. I'm going to use my shaded spruce ink, and I need to look at which way round I want this. I think it's that way that I'm going to go with it. And I'm going to ink it up. Tap, 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 as I say to new people. And I say that to Vivi, and Vivi says that to me as well. Tap, 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 Nanny. She does love to craft. Right, and then I'm going to pop this one down, which is tricky for me to see. Somewhere in the middle. Straightish, I think. Straight down like that. I've missed a little bit up there, but it will be fine. And then, using the outline stamp, I'm going to make sure I've got it the right way up, which it is. I'm going to ink it again, but I'm going to stamp it off this time. I've got a really heavily used piece of grid here. Look at the colours on here. So I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to stamp it off so that we get second generation. We're going to bring this back in and try and line up as best as I can from where I can see, just to fill in. That wasn't the best, but it will do, just to fill in that colour. Got it under my nails now. I'm playing with shaded spruce the other day and was totally covered. My fingers were green. You know what it's like when you start inking and you get really happy with your inking, and then before you know it, you've got all these colours over your hands. So we've just created colour in those leaves really easily, just using the two-step system. Then I need to take a scrap that will hopefully be big enough, and then another two-step stamp we've got is this lovely flower. So we've got the outline, and then we've got like the solid infill, and to go with that we have the Petal Park Builder Punch as well. Is it called a builder? Don't know, but you can see that when you stamp, you're going to line up these images and punch them out. So let's go with the Night of Navy. Oh, don't know what that was doing in there. Dimensional lid, that one there. And then I'm going to open up the Balmy Blue, which has some white splattage in there from previous stamping, and we're going to colour some flowers. Now I only want these two for this one, so shall I just get a bigger piece and do all three? Let's do all three. Now I'm going to look at my punch to see which way. So we've got the largest flower over to the right. So I'm going to ink up the outline in Night of Navy. I'm going to do two of these because I've got another card to do after this one. Could be... Let's just do them next door to each other. Doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to infill with these. Can you see the detail on here? They're lovely. And then I'm going to do that with Balmy Blue. And I'm going to do one full strength and one stamped off, I think. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So they line in beautifully. And then the next one, I'm just going to stamp it down and see how pale it comes out. So just take a minute to line it in. So can you see the difference? So one stamp in the ink, first generation and then second generation. I do that quite often. It kind of helps you stretch your colours a bit further. And then all we do is take our punch, line it in as best you can. Try and get them all. You're looking at all three flowers. Nice crisp punch. And then we'll do these as well. So did everybody have a lovely Christmas? Oh, my brain isn't engaging. I think that's it. Did you all have a lovely Christmas too? It's strange that it's kind of come and gone already. I know that happens in life. And I know that's what's supposed to happen in life, but it's like, oh, it's done. It's all dusted. What's next? What is next? Although, where did I go the other day? And they had Easter eggs and Easter bunnies and Easter bonnets on the shelves in the shop. Honestly, I was shocked. I don't think I've ever seen them in the shops that early, straight after Christmas. So, yeah. Right, what do we need next? Might use that bit here. I need a label. Let's have a look what width we need. going to use one of these from the Something Fancy. Can use that there to get one out of there, and then also going to use that die as well. And got loads of little scraps in my box. Let's pull out a smaller piece. Save that bigger bit. Need to die cut one of those, but I also want to stamp a greeting on here. So I've gone with the thank you because I think now is a really great time for saying thank you, isn't it? We've got lots of things to be thankful for, even just spending time with people, not necessarily for gifts that people have given, just for having people around. It's just lovely to say, you know, thanks for being there during the festive season. So I've chosen this one here from the Something Fancy. And we're going to ink that in the Night of Navy. Pop that straight down. What a lovely font. How nice is that? So let's pull in our plates. Still haven't changed this one. And I'm gonna have it that way around. Get a bit of tape. I was thinking yesterday, am I going to be able to go live? Because I had a real tickly cough later on in the day yesterday, but it seems to have subsided for the present, which is good. Mind you, I'm thinking the more I waffle, it's not going to help it, is it? Okay, let's just cut those two out. Whoops. Yeah, it is, Helen's saying, for those of you on the replay, Easter isn't until April and it's far too early. I know, it was like a whole row of Easter stuff. Oh, just thought, really? Let us get over Christmas first, please, and the New Year. Right, so we've got both of those cut out. Always put my dies back in their little place when I finish with them, and then there's less risk of them getting lost. Right, what I want to do on this layer is add a bit of colour. I'm going to pull in my balmy blue, bring this rather dirty piece of grid paper back in, trusty blending brush, and just add some subtle colour, well, I say subtle, a bit of colour around the edge. Doesn't necessarily need to be subtle. You know, we have Valentine's Day first to think about before Easter. I'm super excited to create some nice treats for Valentine's as well. Yeah, and a Valentine doesn't have to be your partner or someone that you're in love with. You can make sweet treats for anybody, for colleagues, for teachers. And in the catalogue, I'm just having a quick flick, because at the beginning of the catalogue, we've got that lovely paper. I'm just going to grab mine out of my box because it's right by me. Oh, there could be an avalanche. So this is the Country Floral. Going off piece now. But I just love this for like sweet treats for Valentine's. How cute is it? I've got some, I'm bending it, be careful. I've got some red ribbon to hand here. So I'm going to be creating, I've got a whole pile of goodies here that need packaging. So I'm hoping, that's my favourite, hoping to get some nice sweet treats made but I also wanted to order, there's a lovely bundle called the Country Bouquet, and it's got hearts in it and it's got a heart punch. Sadly I can't show you it, but you may have seen it online, other people using it. I just thought it'd be really nice for Valentine's, just to create treats, just to give to people. Because that's what's nice, isn't it? It's, you know, receiving something in the post that it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. It's just a treat that's been made by you. I just think that's so nice to give and so nice to receive. I had some lovely gifts from team members and from some lovely cards from customers. So I've got a little basket of cards and bits to show you after. So hopefully I won't forget, because you know I'm good at that. I say, well, I'll show you that when I've finished, and then I finished the live and I'm like, oh, I forgot to show you it. So let's start building this up now. We've got all of our elements. I need a little bit of this bordered ribbon. Let us start putting it together. So I'm just going to pop some Tombow on the back of this white layer. I'm going to hold it down for a minute because this layer is so textured. Oh, hold on, Kerry. Hold fire. Something else is going down first. So this is the paper from the Petal Park that I showed you earlier, that 6x6. I need to put that down first. This side is so pretty too, but I wanted the stripes. So we're going to pop that one kind of right down in the middle to start with. So just hold it for a minute, because as I was saying before, I nearly stuck a layer down too early. This is so textured, this background. You need to give the adhesive chance to get in between all the crevices so that it actually sticks properly. Right, we want some of this lovely ribbon. And I want a piece just to pop across the middle here. I'm getting all Tombow on me now. That was a rookie error. Whacking down that layer before I was ready. See, look, it's even stuck to me. And then all I'm going to do is pop a couple of glue dots. Oops. Stuck to my finger. Didn't see that one there. Just in the middle, just to anchor this ribbon in place, because we're going to be putting a layer over the top of it. And then we're just going to pop that down over the centre like that. Now we can put this layer on. I'm going to put a bit more Tombow on, because what will happen is that will just be, that becomes then removable. Have I got this the right way up? I think so. So let's just get that down in the middle and hold it for a minute. Give it a good press down. Make sure that it's stuck. Just gonna give my hands a wipe. Oh, it's so grey out there. So grim. And then we'll put this down onto our base. Again, a good amount of Tombow, because we want that to stick nicely to our base. And straight would be good. Oh dear. It looks really crooked to me at the bottom, but it's down and it's staying. A little bit of Tombow there. Okay, so we've just got the cane weave. Is it called cane weave? I think so. Layer. Then a bit of the DSP with some ribbon, and then our foliage on top. What I'm going to do next is layer up. Don't know what that is behind there. It looks like adhesive. Let's hope it is. We're going to cover it anyway with some dimensionals. And just pop that layer down. Over the centre of this panel, and it does actually just fit within my 2 3/4 panel here, like that. Okay, you can just see the depth of the colour there. Is it straight? Let's give it a little wiggle. I feel like my hair's gone all static. Okay, that will do. And then we're going to take a couple of the flowers and our thank you greeting. Give these a little squidge. Bit of Tombow on the back. That's not a bit, that's a lot, but we'll share it. And we'll just lay these down over this side. Make sure they're stuck. And then we'll pop our greeting over this side. And all I'm going to do is add a couple of dimensionals there. Put a little bit of Tombow there. This is a new Tombow. That's not what I would normally call a little bit. That's quite excessive. But it's flowing well, shall we say. And then we're just going to pop that little greeting down there. Stick it to the dimensionals. So we've got our flowers that we need to pop some centres on. So we'll use these new Milky Dots. Look at the colours, they are just lovely. Quite a large set. How many have we got in here? 200 in 3mm and 5mm. So we've got clear. Does it say the colours? No. Mango Melody, where's my catalogue? We have got Mango Melody, Night of Navy, Petal Pink and White. But they're like milky. Excuse me. Let's get rid of that. And we're just going to add in a little bit of bling to coordinate. And then we'll call that done. Okay. So quite a bit of texture, we've got quite a bit of height going, a bit of depth. So really simple card, nothing elaborate, really simple colouring, and that's what I love about this stamp set. You can just easily colour in the foliage and the flowers, and they're just so usable, aren't they? So that is card number 1. It's my original, pretty much the same, not a lot different at all. So I'll put those to one side, and then I'm going to do another card for you. A few more pieces this time. Introduced a bit more colour on this one. So we've got a basic white layer. Fold that one in half ready. Put it to one side. Then we've got, I don't know what that piece is. Maybe it's scrap for, it's like, looks like an insert, but I'm not doing an insert with you today. Got a layer of crumb cake, which should probably measure the same as the previous white layer, 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. I've got a layer of shaded spruce, which is 2 inches by 4 3/4. And then I've got some scrap pieces for stamping on, and then 2 more pieces of this pattern paper. So I've got a little strip, which looks like it's 3 inches. No, it's not, it's 2.5 by 1 inch. And then a skinny strip, which is 1/2 inch by 3.5 inches. So any scrappy bits that you get left over, you saw my little bag. I always keep a little poly bag in with my pattern papers of all the leftover pieces, and then try and kind of make use of them, do something with them. Right, those we're going to put to one side. Let's do some stamping first. I know why I've got that big piece. I remember now, it's all coming back to me, because I designed this ages ago. Let's pull in our foamy mat, and we're going to ink up this lovely greenery foliage. That sounded very Gloucester then, foliage. And I'm just going to stamp it up there. And then we're going to do the same as I did before. I'm going to fill in with some colour, but I'm going to stamp it off. Let's pull in that. I'm just going to stamp it off on this scrappy bit. And then line it in. And fill in the colour. As easy as that. So easy. So we've just got that again. Then I need a couple of leaves. Now in this set, you've got this large image with the shadow that I've just used. You've got the flowers that I've seen. You've also got these little individual flowers that are 2-step and the leaves. But you've then got this lovely single leaf as well. So that is this one. And then we've got the piece that goes inside as well. Now this one actually cuts out with the punch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when I'm stamping it, I'm going to stamp it at that angle so that when I put it in my punch, it's going to line up nicely and be easier to cut out. So let's just do a few of these. And then we've got some spares for later. Where's my scrappy bit? There it is. And then I'm going to do the same, stamp it off, and then just fill in that bit of colour. I really like this leaf on its own as well. Sorry, that's hard for you to see while I'm doing that because I'm using a small block. So I'm just stamping off, getting 2nd generation colour. But look how lovely. Let's get that out of the way. Just that leaf is on its... You may not think it's lovely, but I do. Just how nice it is on its own, without the veins in it. And then when you go to punch, you can just pop these in and punch one at a time. Move it along. Oh, I can't see. Got a shadow going on. I just want 2 of those to be going on with, so I can punch those ones out later. When you've got a builder punch, you kind of fathom out the best way of stamping things so that you don't waste a lot of paper. So we've just got 2 little leaves down there. Now I've already stamped some flowers. The other thing I need to do is I want to die cut a label from the Something Fancy. So I think I've used the largest one. So we'll just pop that one in and cut that out. Very quickly. I'll have a little cough quietly while I'm cranking this through. Excuse me for that. And then we've just got that lovely little label. You know how much I love these lovely shaped dies. They're just so usable. Just getting off anything that's got stuck to that from my plate. So we've just got a lovely white label. What else do I need? Oh, gonna do a little bit of splatting on that layer. Let's do that now. No, I'm going to be brave and do it after. I'm going to be brave and do it after. What else do I need? Oh, we need to emboss this. I'm going to emboss this with the cane weave. I'm not going to do any splatting on it though. I didn't feel the need. So if you don't want to use that line down there to line up, follow a line of the actual embossed pattern to get it straight, and I'm pretty confident I'm not going to let that move. But quite often, if you don't hold the top cover down, when you put it in your machine, it gets a little bit static, because they do create quite a bit of static, these machines, and then that will cause it to move. So we've just got this little layer. Now we can start building up. No, we can't. Need to do a bit of cutting. Got to stamp a greeting as well. Let's do the greeting. Right, which one did I use? Oh, I chose, from the Something Fancy, I chose the Happy Birthday because I wanted a long greeting. We can never have too many birthday cards. So again, these are cling stamps, so red rubber. And you're never going to be 100% sure if it's going to stamp straight. I'm going to do it in Night of Navy. So I've got a couple of strips here. These are offcuts, but what I might do is just gauge on here how straight it is. And what I'm going to do is line up the actual bottom of the word with a line on my grid paper. Not breathe for a minute. Do you know that looks like it's mounted pretty straight. So let's have a go at the real thing. Now it's off-putting because the sticker is showing the word to be at the top, and in reality it's not quite at the top on the stamp on the other side. But so we could, be a bit low, but we'll just go with it. This strip looks wider as well. Steady hand. That's not too bad, is it? I'm just going to check the width. It is a bit wider than on my original, but I don't think that really hurts. Move that out of the way. And the navy ink, because me and the dark coloured inks, we get messy together. So I'm going to snip off the ends. I love a basic font like this. Just love a basic font. And it just makes it easier to place. When you've got something kind of this shape, sometimes it can be a bit harder to place on your project. But right, the other thing I need to do on here, I'm going to chop this up. Just figuring out which piece I've chopped. I think it's that bit. So going to snip that out. Save that bit for later. And let's just snip. It's a shame to chop out these little dots, but we don't need them. Let's just snip off and around the edge of here. It feels nice to be back in the studio and kind of crafting. I'm such a routine kind of girl. I like things. I like my routine. I know some people hate routine, but I like to know where I am. It just, maybe it's like part of my OCD. It just helps me to get on with things. I was having a good shake down there, a scratch. Just curl these leaves around. Yes, it's just nice to be back in here and feel like I'm going to be starting to get back into a little bit of a routine with work. Because that's the great thing about working for yourself, is that you do get to choose when you want to work. That is the good thing. Sometimes it means you work too much. Sometimes it means you don't work enough, but you know, it's just finding the balance. Right, what I want to do on this layer, I'm going to be adding a little bit of foliage. So I want to put a little splatting. So I'm going to be really careful not to get ink on my block. And I'm just going to gently pop a couple of bits of splattage like that. That will be enough. And then we can start building up this layer. So let's pull back in our pieces of pattern paper. And I'm going to put this one down first. So I'm going to add glue to the back. And just pop it down near the bottom. You can kind of use the pattern on the weave to help you line things up. The good thing about Tombow, of course, is you've got that little bit of wiggle room. And then we're going to add straight on this label. Better put it the right way up. So it's just down from the top, but more over to the left of this layer. This is where it plays tricks with your eyes. If you haven't got that cane weave embossing straight to start with, it will start playing tricks with your eyes. I think it's straight. Then, should we add this down now? Let's pop on this layer of shaded spruce. I keep seeing that word Easter popping up on my screen. I don't even want to think about Easter yet. Let's do this first and then we'll know where we are. So I'm just going to add some Tombow down this side and layer up these two pieces before they go on my card. Otherwise it could get a bit confusing if I just put the shaded spruce piece down first. Layer. I can hear the recycling men out there, I'm sure. I thought, actually, we got 2 different recyclings coming today. I don't think they're collecting garden waste today for some reason. I guess they've probably got a lot of other stuff to deal with. Right, now we can pop that layer down onto our card because it's a hole now. We haven't got to worry about in the corners. Whether it was going to be central or And then we can just pop that down, kind of in the middle, as best we can. And then give it a hold till it sticks. Okay, so we just got our splat there. And now we can start building up. So first of all, I'm going to pop on this other layer of DSP. Just going to wipe the end of my Tombow, it's got a bit dried up. So we'll just add a bit of glue. Not too worried about the ends sticking down. And I'm going to like layer that over the top edge of this pattern paper that's already down, with a little even overhang each edge. Why can I not see straight today? Oh goodness. And then we'll build up. Got some flowers that I did earlier. Do you remember these were the stamped off ones? And add on our bit of foliage. Pop some dimensionals behind that, because we can. We've all gone quiet. Even Alfie's snoring under the table. I hope none of you are snoring. And then we'll pop in some flowers. Do you know what? If you're on your own, snore away. I don't think I want all three of those though. No, just two. It'll be flower overload otherwise. Pop a bit of Tombow on the back. I have no idea what the time is either. Gosh, running away, that's what time is doing. We'll have one there. My back is talking to me now. Tuck one under there. Hold it for a minute. Oh, that was obviously not long enough. And then our little leaves. Just going to curl them. Pop a dimensional on. And then add them down here. Add in our greeting. Put some dimensionals on that as well. I'm doing an order in the next day or two, because I'm on my last packet of dimensionals, and I think I'm really low on Tombow as well, so get that order put through. Ooh, need to turn you a bit. Let's just pop that there. We don't want to hide the word. And then we'll add some Milky Dots. This time I was going to use they're called white, but as they're milky, they are kind of like off-white. But they're like very opal-y. Add those in the centre. I think I prefer the blue ones, the Night of Navy. And then I thought we'd finish off with a bow, because it will just make the whole card pop. And we are quite 3D here. You can't really see it very well, but I think with cards like this, I always like to make like a nice boxed envelope. It depends, obviously, if you're posting it. I'm going to have to grab that bit through there. Just about. It does tie lovely, this ribbon. I'll check how much it is for you as well. I want to say £7.50, but let's have a look. £8.50, but you do get 9 metres in there, just over 9 metres. Let's give that a little chop. Sort it out. I'm going to go that way. Sometimes it works nicer when you turn it around the other way. Just want to pull that one a little shorter. I need to stop faffing now and just get it down. Yeah, let's just get it down on the card. Hi Belle, you okay? You've been listening on your doggy trot. I brightened up your soggy toddle. Oh, I know it is soggy out there, isn't it? Oh, it's rotten. It's rotten. Pop this down with a glue dot. Might trim the tails if I need to. Oh, I don't want to hide the happy birthday. Let's just move that over a little bit. There. It's a bit twisted, that bow there, but I'm not going to let it bother me too much. And there we go. Second card complete. So the Petal Park is really quick and easy to kind of create with. Here's my original, pretty much the same. Going to close up these inks. Got a couple of cards to show you, things that I had over Christmas. I think a lot of post is still filtering through. I know I posted something to someone and it took an age to get there. And I've posted other stuff before Christmas, and I know it hasn't even got there yet. So I'm hoping that cards that I sent out have actually made it to their destination. But I always think that, you know, better late than never. Definitely better late than never. So it's today's 2 creations. So loving this colour combo. Belle, is that what you're saying? Yes, thank you. I just caught that on the corner of my phone. It is definitely a must. And what price did we say it was? £36. So you get stamps and the punch. Just such a quick, all-round, really lovely stamp set that you are going to find so much use for. So, yeah, but that doesn't go live until the 5th, which, did we say that's Friday? What's the date today? 3rd. Is it Thursday then? Is it 3rd today? Yeah, it was my sister's birthday yesterday. Yeah, live on the 5th. So I've got a couple of flowers left. Just put that in my little pot. I've got a little pot of bits going on here because we're going to be using this for my 6-card class this month as well. So booking is already open for that. You can catch that on my events website at simplyprettystudio.kerrytims.co.uk. I think that's it. Thought I'd just share with you quickly before I go, because I've got to head out in 10 minutes. Excuse me. Some of my Christmas cards that I had. And Belle's on here had this lovely little easel card. How sweet is that? From Belle. And this is using, let me grab it, a sneak peek from a Sale-a-Bration item that is coming. the adorable owls. I haven't inked mine up yet. Honestly, you know what it's like, need more time. So this is coming, on the 5th, in the Sale-a-Bration brochure. So it's a free gift when you spend £45. And Belle has done a beautiful job of colouring that in and turned it into a little Christmas owl, which is so sweet. So I've got that one there. I had this lovely card from Kate. Beautiful card. The gold foiling. Another one here. So these are still on the last chance list, I want to say, these dies. How lovely are these? I didn't get this set. I want to say it's called something barn, Christmas barn. Look at this one. This is cute. How sweet is that? Another popular one. How lovely is that? I can't remember what it's called. I have pulled everything off my shelf that's retiring as well. So this lovely one. I don't know what, can't remember what this is called. It comes as 2 dies in a set, I'm pretty sure. Lovely festive one here. This one was sent to me, but it's definitely one of my designs, which I just love that. Another one, look at the heat embossing on there. That was from Helen, I remember, in my team. Another Helen in my team. Look at those dies. I think I've shown you these dies. Let me grab them, if I can find them. Alphabet a la mode. Obviously that's just one part of them. There's another sheet in there, but they are great. They are really great. I am really considering bringing back I've been thinking it for a long time, my scrapbooking classes, but I just need enough people to justify running it. So I really would like to do more scrapbooking again. And I only get chance really if I'm doing it as a class. That's the only time that I find. How beautiful is that? And then I had this one from a customer. Look at the glitz. How lovely. Had a lovely little treat from Belle. I've got to show you what's inside because she knows me well. Who doesn't love a happy hippo? One of my favourite treats, although we're on cut down in this house at the moment. So really cute box design there. And then I had this from Helen in my team. This uses the a la mode dies again. A bit difficult to show you, but how beautiful is that? Alfie, that was a big snore. How lovely is that? Beautiful. And I had a huge box of gifts from Helen as well, which was so sweet. You're so kind, Helen, honestly. So that's some of my Christmas gifts that I had. I don't know if I've got anything else to show you because it's all work in progress. But I have lots of new products to share very, very soon. Don't think there's anything else. There's lots, but nothing that I can actually share with you. They're kind of all in progress. The other thing I've got on my events website is my fitting florets class as well, which is this. So it's in the studio at the end of the month. We've got 3 cards here, fun fold and a couple of boxes. So have a look on there to see about that. And if you go to kerrytims.co.uk and click classes and events at the top, that will take you to my events website and you can see what's on the calendar. So right, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to get a coffee to go and I'm going to head out. My car is in the repair shop today after wing mirror electric gate. So yeah, very expensive mishap on my behalf, but it's in for repair today. So yeah, I've got the works run around. So anyway, I've got to head out soon. So I'm going to grab a coffee to go grab a snack, and then I'm going to head out, and I'll be back later. And before I go, I need to message on my team group. So thank you all so much for joining me this morning. If you're catching me on the replay, please do say hello. I had major problems uploading last time it just wouldn't upload, so fingers crossed it will be a bit smoother today. I hope you've enjoyed the projects today. The Petal Park really is a must. You need to put it on your wish list. So also on my events, I need to just mention I've got my catalogue launch party here at the studio on the 14th, Saturday morning. So I am limiting spaces, so get yourself booked on that sooner rather than later. So right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye for now, everybody, and I will catch you all very soon. Bye Helen, bye Belle, cheerio.